This is the plaintiff, Diane Storniola. She says the defendant is her former landlord, and he's nothing but a loudmouth who's trying to steal her security deposit. The louse has put her in a bad position. She needs her money to pay rent on her new place, and she wants her $4,439.84, and she wants it now. This is the defendant, Tom Flores. He says he met the plaintiff at a bar and decided to help her out by renting a cottage he owns. The woman eventually moved out without the required 30-day notice, damaged his once pristine cottage by smoking the place out with cigarettes, candles, and barbecuing. And he had to make a lot of repairs to rent it out again. Oh, her money? Good one. He's accused of lousy landlording. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,270.34 for additional repairs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says her landlord is trying to steal her security, and he's a loudmouth to boot. But the defendant says she bailed prematurely and damaged the place with a barbecue. It's the case of ready to get grilled.
Diane Storniola?
Yes.
You are suing Tom Flores?
Yes.
For $4,439.84 that you say your former landlord owes you and refuses to pay. You are counterclaiming against her $1,270.34 that you claim she still owes even when you keep the security deposit. What happened?
Okay, I moved into the place August 15th of 2013. I have 2 German Shepherds, so it's very hard to find a place to live. I knew Tom from the restaurant, from the bar. I'm a waitress, bartender. I knew his children. So one of the girls, I was working with the realtor, and she said, you know, Tom's place is for rent. I'm not sure if he'll allow dogs. So I went over and I spoke to him, and he said, oh, I really didn't want a dog. The tenant now has a dog, but I didn't know it was you. Sure, you know, I know your dogs and everything. So the tenant was still living there, so I peeked in the window. I was desperate. I needed a place to, you know, I left my boyfriend.
Okay, so you rent the place,
Yes.
and you sign a 1-year lease,
and
everything works fine for that first year.
Yes, well, you know, there was a few things, like just what kind of character he is. You know, I moved in, I painted the bedroom and the living room, because when I move in, you like fresh paint. In the backyard, there were weeds, like 5 feet thing, and I said, Tom goes, oh no, we're gonna clean them up, we're gonna clean them. Never did it. I hired somebody, cleaned up the weeds. You know, I like to sit out there with my dogs, his ticks, and I said, Tom, would you at least split it with me? Which he did. He gave me $100 for the weeds. I lived there for a year. In August, my lease was up, and he said to me, Diane, you need to re-sign the lease. I said, you know what, Tom? You know, in the winter, the pipes would freeze. I had no shower for, the first year was 3 days. This year, 5 days, I had no shower. I told him I was moving out April, was it April? No, I'm sorry, March 11th, I said I was moving.
And you moved out when?
Well, what happened was the deal fell through. So I told him on April 3rd, I said, Tom, I'm sorry, the deal fell through. Can I please stay? And he said, Diane, I signed up with a realtor. I don't know, let me call the realtor. This is a big problem for me. I said, Tom, I'm sorry. See what you can do. The deal fell through. Never heard from him again, never said anything. So I continued to stay there. Okay? Then it was 3 weeks later, I got my old place back. I told him, I go, Tom, the 20th, my rent is due on the 15th. I said, technically, the 20th would be 1 month's notice. So if you want, I'll stay to the 20th, or I could be out by the 15th.
Okay, I'm sorry. When did you get your old place back?
The 15th.
Of what?
Of March. No, April.
April. So last he knew, the deal had fallen through.
Correct.
Then you tell him, I got my old place.
Correct.
And do you give him another 30 days notice?
Yes, I did.
So you moved out you're paid up till May 15th?
Correct.
Okay, so you paid another month's rent even though your lease had first, last, and security.
Well, Your Honor, he called me up 3 days before the rent was due, and he goes, Dan, I just want verbatim. We're on the same page. You're still going to give me this month's rent? I said, yes, Tom. I'm going to give you this month's rent. So I gave him this month's rent.
Right, because I think because you didn't, I don't know if you knew at that point that you were getting the apartment, did you?
Yeah, this was the second apartment, my old apartment I used to live at. And I said, Tom, I'm getting my old place back. I was so happy.
All right, so you realized that you shouldn't have done that because in your lease you had already paid first, last, and security. And at this point, when you paid the rent, you had already told him, I'm moving
Yes,
to the second place?
yes.
Okay.
Because
So according to you, what date did you give him notice that you're moving to the second place?
I gave him notice on.
What's raining papers all around you? What's
sorry,
going on?
ma'am, I'm sorry.
Take a deep breath.
I gave him a month's notice, and I said.
No, I don't want to hear conclusions. I want to
Okay.
know exactly when
Thank
you
you.
told him, I'm getting my old place back.
That was on April, I want to say April 13th, April 13th.
Okay, and then you paid rent from April 13th through
I
May
paid him the rent on the 15th, Your
on
Honor.
the 15th. All right.
Yes,
May I see the lease?
yes.
Yeah. All right, and according to you, you paid from April 15th through May 15th.
Correct.
Correct? Now, I know there's a notice issue for you, and I'll get into that in a moment. What I want to know is, did she in fact pay rent from April 15th through May 15th?
No, Your Honor.
She didn't,
I
according
have that in the last month's rent security, but there was no transaction where she came on the,
On April 15th or April 13th, did she pay rent?
no, ma'am, she left
Okay,
on that
that's
date.
not a problem. If you paid it, you'll be able to prove it. Prove that you paid the
I
rent.
paid him cash.
Yeah, but that's fine. You can pay cash. You just have to have a receipt.
He doesn't give me a receipt.
I don't care that he doesn't give it to you. Then you don't give him the cash. You tell him,
I
take the
know,
crayon and
ma'am.
the toilet paper and write me a receipt if you want the cash I got here.
Ma'am,
Woo!
Your
That's how
Honor,
you do
I
it. Cash
know,
doesn't leave
I
this
know.
hand without a receipt coming into this hand.
I know. I paid him cash for the year and a half I lived there.
Did she pay you cash on April 13th?
No, ma'am, no, Your Honor. She left on she was gone on the 17th of April. If I understand what she just said, Your Honor, she states that she paid me on April 14th for another month. But then left on the 17th of April?
No, she claims she didn't leave on this. Do you claim you left on the 17th of April?
I left on the 15th.
So you paid rent and left?
No. I paid the previous month.
No one's asking you about that.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, if you left on April 15th, how did you pay April 15th through May 15th?
No, we're confused here, ma'am.
Oh, we are.
No, ma'am. Your Honor, I left on, Dan, help me out here. I moved into my new place. Just give me 1 second.
Go ahead, take all the time you need.
I moved into the new place on April 15th.
April what?
Right?
April 15th.
I paid Mr. Flores rent on March 15th.
He's not
I
denying
have
that.
pictures
Okay.
dated the 17th of April, and
All my stuff wasn't out.
Well, then you didn't move out on the 15th.
Dan, you know, I had a chair in the backyard.
Show me your pictures
Yeah.
dated the 17th.
Can I show you my picture?
Yes, please.
Okay.
this is Diane and this, her gentleman friend Dan, on the,
The 17th, I gave him the key back on the 17th, ma'am.
If you leave on April 17th, you got to do what you got to do. And you got to own up to responsibilities.
Okay.
And if you leave on April 17th,
Yes.
what the law says, if you spend one day there more than you were supposed to,
Okay.
then you owe that month's rent. You didn't leave on time. And if you leave your stuff there and you're still moving stuff out on the 17th and you're handing the key to him on the 17th, there's a consequence to being late. So he's right.
I was 2
and
days-
now this is not, you had told me all along that you had
Yeah.
paid April 13th to May 15th, but you didn't. What you paid was March, right? You're clear
for
on
the-
that.
for the month that I
And-
was-
No, you paid March for March to April. You never handed cash to him for April to May, correct?
I was moved out already.
That's fine.
Yes,
Okay.
but
So wait. I
Yes.
need you to leave here understanding that the
Okay.
indignancy that you felt that he was lying about receiving cash, that indignancy is misplaced because that never happened. You were saying that you had paid cash April 15th.
Yes.
You are now changing that and explaining that you paid cash March 15th, right? You never paid cash
I paid-
again on April 15th because you were leaving.
Okay.
Right. So you paid March to April,
But-
and he acknowledges that.
Yes.
What he's saying is that because you didn't leave till the 17th, he is entitled to that month. And as goofy as you may think that is, judging by the facial expressions that you're giving, he is correct. That is the law.
But may I say something, Your
You
Honor?
can say whatever you want.
I was out of that house on the 15th. I went back to give him the key, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I had the air conditioner in the shed in the backyard. We went together so he would give me the check. I gave him 2 months security, Your Honor. I gave him $3,500.
No, you didn't. Read your lease. You gave him last month and security, and it doesn't even matter. Because
does
whether
matter,
you call,
because
no, it doesn't. You think it legally matters, and it doesn't. Because you could call it 2 months security, or you could call it last month and security, and it doesn't matter. The only thing the judge does is take note of the math and then figure it out from there.
So-
okay, stop talking.
Okay, who takes advantage of who more, landlords or tenants?
Landlord.
Why do you say? Because you're a tenant?
Well, you just as a landlord, you have to prepare for everything, and I think it's fair for the tenants.
Okay, what do you think?
Tenants,
Tenants take advantage more.
Yes.
Because?
because I don't think they have ownership in it, and I think they think they can do what they want, and the landlords get stuck with the results.
Fair enough. 2 points of view going inside the courtroom.
Okay, now after she leaves, you walk through it. What's the problem?
Oh, I immediately noticed soot and smoke on the walls, ceilings, windows, light fixtures, outlets, anything that was plastic was really sooted up.
From smoking?
No, Your Honor, I believe it was related to some sort of a fire. I don't know whether or not it was something that happened on the barbecue. Diane could answer that. Based upon the photographs I have, Your Honor, and
May I
and
see the
extent of-
photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is this picture depicting? I mean,
That's a picture of the blinds in the living
Right.
room, Your Honor, and you can see where the tab is pulled up, and you can see the white of what it should look like versus the other side, which was unprotected or uncovered and subjected to this smoke and soot. There was,
you knew she was a smoker, right?
well, it was a no-smoking cottage. She took that with that understanding. Smoke
Does the lease say
outside.
no smoking?
I don't believe
No, it
so,
does
Your
not,
Honor.
and I didn't
I don't
smoke in the
believe so.
cottage, so
I
it does
didn't-
not say.
I crossed off a lot of things on the lease just to expedite it.
What is this supposed to show me?
Just the side of the refrigerator. The guys pulled the refrigerator out, and then I said, just make an X. so
I
can-"
see what you're talking about, that there are, it's dingy. I guess that's probably the best, put your hand down. That's the best way to say it, is that it's incredibly dingy. But why would that entitle you to anything more than painting? I don't see how it would. I just don't see how it would.
Your Honor, I have pictures of the outlets, and it's an insidious soot that gets in. It fouls.
I don't rent to a smoker then.
I don't think it was smoke from a cigarette, Your Honor.
You have pictures
It
of
was on the
outlets that'll
page-
show
it
me
was
an
down low in
insidious
the
soot?
room.
Show me the picture of the outlet that'll show me 31 outlets and insidious soot.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I also have the walls painted, Your Honor, which really does show a big difference.
There is a lot of. Did you burn a lot of candles?
No, ma'am,
Did you
ma'am.
burn a lot of candles? Yes or
No.
no? There's a lot.
3
of
months
soot
after I
on
moved
stuff.
in, you need to let me say this, please?
No, I'm not, because all I think that
There
you
was
have to
black
do.
soot.
Okay, we're done. I am going to order the defendant to return $1,500 of the deposit. I find that based on the testimony that you're entitled to keep the month's rent, and that you're entitled to deduct $250 for cleaning in between tenants and/or painting, but not the amount that you are claiming. So I'm ordering the defendant to pay the plaintiff $1,500. That is my verdict.
And so the plaintiff collects $1,500. Come on in here. Your feeling on how this is finally finished up?
Well, I'm glad it's over. I think the judge has made her decision, and that's what we go with. That's how it rolls. So I'm glad it's done, and I hope Diane is a happier person now.
That's good. You look like you maybe tried to milk it a little bit.
It's tough to display what was in the building on a picture. So milking something, no.
Well, you thought there was a fire in there,
If it was
right?
an insurance claim and I had an insurance policy, they would have paid more than.
You thought there was a fire, right?
Yeah, I
Some
believe
kind of
so.
fire. You never said anything about a smell, no fire smell. You never mentioned the word smell once.
With
That's
the,
funny, because fires usually smell.
I believe it happened about 2 months after Diane initially moved
Okay,
in.
that's when it happened. Okay, head right around this way. All right, so step on in here and, okay, what's going through your mind here?
No, I'm not happy, because he ripped
right,
me
go on.
off.
So-
He ripped me off for $3,500.
Well, you got something back. You got something back
Yeah,
at least.
it's not right.
Where'd this soot all of a sudden show up from?
When I moved into the house, 3 months, I painted it. 3 months later, I said, Tom, why by the radiators, electric heat, it was all black. Come up the walls, he goes, oh, I don't know, I'll take care of it.
All right.
Never took care of it.
Listen, when you give cash, get a receipt,
I know,
no matter what.
I know.
Yeah, all that stuff, right?
I know.
You know. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, word to the wise. We have so many of these cases where somebody says, I gave 30 days notice, the landlord says, you didn't give 30 days notice. You have to document this very well with an email, with something where there's a clear date stamp, where there is an acknowledgement. That is the only way to protect yourself. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.